Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reading chapter 2. Let's get started. Okay. Chapter 2. Good things are happening here. That surprises me a little. When we came, I thought it would be a place where I would just have to stick it out, where I would be lonely for a year, where nothing would ever happen at all. Okay, now I can see my book much better. Okay. When we came, I thought it would be a place where I would just have to stick it out, where I would be lonely for a year. I thought it was okay. Where nothing would ever happen at all. Now, good things are happening to all of us. Well, it's hard. Hold on, okay. Well, it's hard to tell with my mother. Mother. She's the kind of person who always enjoys everything anyway. Mom and Mom are a lot alike. They get so enthusiastic and excited that you think something wonderful has happened. That when you stop to think about it, nothing has really happened at all. Every morning, for example, Mom puts fresh birdseed in the bird feeder outside the kitchen window. 2 minutes later, the first bird stops by for breakfast, and Mom jumps up and says, "Shh," and goes to look. And don't forget that 400 birds were the day before. Or a plant in the kitchen gets a new leaf, and she almost sends out bird announcements. So it always seems as if good things are happening to Mom. Dad is more like me. He waits for the truly good things as if getting excited about the little ones, but keep the big ones from coming. Dad is more like me. He waits for the truly good things as if getting excited about the little ones might keep the big ones from coming. But the book is going well for Dad. And he says it was coming here. Dad did it. He goes into the little room each morning, closes the door, and sets a brick against it so that it won't fall open while he is working. He's still there when Molly and I get home from school at 4. And Mom says he doesn't come out all day, except every now and then when he appears in the kitchen and pours himself a cup of coffee without saying a word, and goes back upstairs like a sleepwalker, Mom says. We can hear the typewriter going full speed. Every now and then we hear him rip up or crumple a piece of paper and then roll a fresh one. Hold on. I accidentally bent my page. Okay, we can do that later. Don't worry about that later. He goes into the little room each morning, closes the door, and sets a brick against it so it won't fall open while he's working. He's still there when Molly and I get home from school at 4. And Mom says he doesn't come out all day, except every now and then when he appears in the kitchen and pours himself a cup of coffee without saying a word, and goes back upstairs like a sleepwalker. Mom says we can hear the typewriter going full speed. Every now and then we hear him rip up or crumple a piece of paper, then roll a fresh one to the typewriter and start fluttering away again. Feels like I read this. Let me double check. I don't want to be reading something I already did. Let's fact check that. Let's see. Okay guys, I just watched a little bit of my video. So I did start on chapter 2 a little bit, but I moved the markers, it fell out or something. I don't remember exactly the details. So, I'm gonna start on this page. I believe that's the one. Molly has a no. Well done. It must. Let me read the last sentence of that page 20. It must be like looking through the wrong end of a telescope, seeing yourself young, far away on your own. The distance is too great for the watcher, really, to do anything more than watch and remember to smile. And smile. Molly is a friend. Boys have always liked Molly. When she was little, boys in the neighborhood used to come to her repair her bike. They loaned her their skate keys, brought her home when she skinned her knees, and waited, anxious while she got a band-aid. They shared their trick-or-treat candy with Molly at Halloween. When I was down the dregs of my drugs in my paper bag. Oh my god, I'm so obsessed with doing these things. Hold on. Okay. Move off. Okay. Molly has a oh yeah, I read that part. They shared their trick-or-treat candy with Molly at Halloween. When I was down to the drugs in my paper bag 2 weeks later, down to eating the wrinkled apples in the bottom, Molly always had the Mounds candy bars left. Hold on. Maybe this part I didn't read. Hold on. Molly. No, I read that one. Okay, let me see. For a second, she looked just like a picture on a Christmas card. Okay, sorry guys. I'm really sorry that I couldn't find my spot because I really forgot where I left off. Okay, for a second, she looked just like a picture on a Christmas card we had gotten from friends in Boston. It was almost eerie. I had held my breath when I looked at her for that moment, because she looked so beautiful. Then she saw me watching her and stuck her tongue out, so that she was just Molly again. Familiar. Okay. Boys, I think, probably see that part of her all the time, the beautiful part. And now suddenly this one boy, Tierney McGoldrick, who plays on the basketball team and is also president of the junior class, is hanging around her every minute in school. They're always together, and he lets her wear his school jacket with a big MV from Maquahawk Valley on the back. Of course, because we live out here in the middle of the woods, so far from everything, they can't actually date. Tierney is not old enough to drive, even if he wanted to drive all the way from where he lives, half the distance to the road that's usually covered. Oh my, I read that. Please, I'm so sorry that you have to listen to this again. Please don't be upset. I mean, it wouldn't be, but... Oh, sorry. Please don't. Okay. Okay. Let me try here. But then Mom has curly hair too. Well, let's see. Mom... Oh yeah, Mom thinks it's quite funny. But then Mom has curly hair too, and was probably just as beautiful as Molly once. Maybe it's because I have straight, stringy hair and glasses that the whole thing makes me feel a little sad. So Dad has a grip on Coleridge, whatever that means, and Molly has a grip on Tierney McGoldrick. Me, I can't actually say I have a grip on anything, but good things have been happening to me here too. I have a new friend. Just after New Year's, before school vacation ended, I went out for a walk. It was a walk I'd been meaning to take ever since we moved to the house, but things had been so busy. First with school and fixing up the house, then Christmas, then settling down after Christmas. I don't know. The time just never seemed right for it. I guess I like to think that it was fate that sent me out for this particular walk on this particular day. Fate in the fact that the sun finally came out after weeks of grayness and snow. I took my camera, the first time I'd taken my camera out since we came to this country, and went all bundled up in my down jacket and wearing heavy boots down the dirt road beyond our house. I think I read that as well. Hey, darn it. Then what haven't I read? I'm not sure. Let me see this one. I walked toward the abandoned house that I could see across the fields from the upstairs window. The snow kept me from getting close to it. The house is a long distance back from the road, and of course the driveway, really a narrow road in its own right, hadn't been plowed, but I stood, stamping my feet to keep warm, and looked at it for a long time. It reminds me of a very honest and kind blind man. That sounds silly, but it looks honest to me because it's so square and straight. It's a very old house. I know that because of the way it's built, with its center chimney and all the other things I've learned about from living in our old house. But its corners are all square like a man, holding his shoulders straight. Nothing sags on it at all. It's a shabby house, though, with no paint, so that the old boards are weathered to gray. I guess that's why it seems kind, because it doesn't mind being poor and paintless. It even seems to be proud of it. Blind because it doesn't look back at me. The windows are empty and dark, not scary, just waiting and thinking about something. I took a couple of photographs of the house from the road and walked on. I know the dirt road ends at a mile beyond our house, but I never had gone to the end. The school bus turns around in our driveway, and no other cars ever come down this road except for one beat-up truck now and then. That same truck was parked at the end of the road beside a tiny weather-beaten house that looked like a distant, poorer cousin of the one I'd passed. An elderly cousin, frail but very proud. There was smoke coming out of the chimney and curtains in the two little windows and on either side of the door. A dog in the yard who thumped his tail against the snowbank when he saw me coming. And beside the truck, no, actually in the truck, or at least with his head inside under the hood, was a man. "Hi," I called. It would have been silly to turn around and start walking home without saying anything, even though I've promised my parents all my life that I would never talk to a strange man. He lifted out his head, a gray head with the bright red woolen cap on it, smiled a nice smile, and said, "Miss Chalmers, I'm glad you've come to visit." "Meg," I said on that. "Okay, guys, I finished for today. Or later. But we'll see more on my other channel. This is just part of some content. Well, I'll see you later, guys. Bye, everyone.